We talk about winning the offseason, but boy, what a great job of landing so many different pieces on the defensive side. I mean, just how excited are you to finally get see these guys work for you?
Yeah, we went into the offseason. We knew we'd be players. Let me say this first. We're not interested in the offseason Super Bowl. So,
right.
We know you have to go out there and play. But we did have, some money to go out and be, real spenders this time. To attack the free agent market. We knew we'd have money to go out and we had some big guys, not mid-level guys, some big guys, and we did that. We thought we could help the defense. Obviously we brought Olivier Vernon in and Snacks, Janoris Jenkins. We signed Jason Pierre-Paul back. So those are some big signings for us. And obviously last year the defense wasn't up to par, and we tried to help the defense going into free agency.
We know what, at least we have a decent idea of what preseason is like for players and coaches. From your position, how exactly does the preseason play out? What's your day-to-day like? What do you have to do? And how nervous are you watching players that you've evaluated perform for the first time?
Yeah, I'm not nervous about that kind of thing. For preseason for me, Peter, is to get those guys out there, the young kids and, some of the journeyman players who are trying to make the football team and see the young kids, trying to adjust to the speed of the game. That's what's most important. And, obviously we have some new faces in here. We want to try to see them gel a little bit, the few snaps that the veterans get to play in the preseason.
So the gelling of those players, the free agents, are you comfortable that's all going to be done by Dallas?
I think so. I think so. They're working hard in practice. They get tons and tons of reps out here at practice. They're really working hard. Our coaching staff, Ben and our coaching staff doing a good job getting those guys ready, get tons of reps, and I think they'll be ready when we play August 11th against the Cowboys.
Is it uncomfortable that everything went down the way that it did with Tom? Because the way it ended up happening, Jerry, is that it looks like he's the scapegoat because he's the only one that lost his job. So is that an uncomfortable position to be in as a survivor of what happened, where at least the optic is the only significant change was with the head coach? So a fan may say, I guess what you're saying is that he was the blame.
Yeah, well, change is always uncomfortable, but, sometimes change is necessary, and that's just part of this business. Coach Coughlin, he had a terrific run here, and obviously he's one of the greatest coaches, not only here for the Giants in National Football League history for me. And, but sometimes, things change and you have to make some changes. And, but, change is always a little bit uncomfortable sometimes, but you have to do it.
Do you feel sometimes that you get a bad rap? It seems like there's always a conversation about your decisions, and people point out a lot of the negatives and things that didn't pan out. But there's some nice picks and acquisitions there that have worked out quite well for this team under your watch as well.
Yeah, well, that comes with the territory with this job. If you can't take some criticism, you can't do this job. So it comes with the territory. It's part of it. But going into the, every season, we try to do things as a staff. Everybody's involved with the decisions we try to make. Ultimately, it's my decision, and I got to take the heat if things don't work out. So it just comes with the territory and just part of the business.
Yeah, but so I ask you this every year, and I know the answer to it, but I'll ask it again just to. You spent so much money on defense to correct the problem with this team last year. I think you'll agree with it. So the pressure of what happens if it doesn't work.
Yeah, well, we're going to stay positive about everything.
Right.
We're not going to talk about what's not going to work. We're thinking we have the pieces to make things work, and that's what's important to us. There's a positive atmosphere around here. Ben has created a nice positive, atmosphere. A lot of positive things going on. We'll let somebody else talk about the negative things that might or might not happen, but we're all positive here right now.
We were just talking before we went on air about me rooting for the Redskins. Yes, I'm sorry. I know it's sad.
We've heard it all day.
So yeah, sadder for me than it is for anyone else. Trust me. But and Don said, well, you must hate the Redskins the least, and you said, no, it's all quite equal. How do you break down? Just to give us a little bit of breakdown of each team in the division and your feelings on each one.
Well, NFC East is notorious. I don't think it's had a back-to-back winner for some years now, and it always comes down to a couple of games, late in the season. It's a horse race to the end of the season. It'd be great to get out in front and could win it and have everything wrapped up in week 12 or something. But usually it doesn't happen like that. It's always good competition in this league. I think the NFC East is going to be a better league than it's been in the past few years, and I think it's going to be really good competition.
Is there one team that when you go down there you have the most disdain for?
No, they're all. It's all tough, It's just a tough league. It's a lot of history of just brutal rival games, and you go out of town, you go to the Cowboys, you go to the Redskins, you go to the Eagles. It's always tough to go to those places and win football games. But that's what that's what this business is about. It's always fun, and we love the challenge.
You can acknowledge that the language may be more vulgar when you're on that Eagles sideline. You're allowed to say that.
They have some tough fans in Philadelphia.
They do.
They have some tough fans.
We're talking to Jerry Reese, general manager of the New York Giants. Let's talk about the offensive line. Eli wasn't sacked an incredible amount of times, but he was pressured. Not a tremendous amount of changes to the offensive line. So how confident are you that it will gel together this year?
Well, you know what, Don, I think we should give our offensive line a little bit more credit than they get. We have a couple of veterans on the right side. These guys have been starters for a long time, and they're very competent at what they're doing. Actually, my opinion, John Jerry's having a really good summer, and Newhouse is holding his own out there. He's got some competition. Both of those positions, we're hoping to have some competition at both of those positions. But we've invested in the offensive line. Flowers is a first-round pick, Pugh is a first-round pick, Richburg is a second-round pick. So we invested in the offensive line heavily for the last few years, and we have a couple of veterans, and there's some continuity there going into our offense was, I think, a top 10 offense last year, so you got to have some offensive linemen to be able to do that. But I think they're confident. There's going to be some competition, for a couple of spots there, like a lot of positions on our team this year.